Hi, my name is Emily Dubin-Field. I'm a mom, thanks to Surrogacy. Here is a photo of our miracle daughter on the day she was born. Our daughter Ava was born via surrogate. It took us 3 years to get our daughter. We went through a lot, as I'm sure so many of you are feeling and thinking about right now. With surrogacy, most times your surrogate is not someone you know, but over a course of about a year and oftentimes longer, you will really get to know. It's a very unique relationship. Even if your surrogate is someone you know, like your sister or your friend, it's still a very unique relationship and experience. My talk is going to cover relationships, communication, and support. I like to keep things real and open. I also hope to provide you with some practical ideas on what you can do. I wish someone had shared with me what I'm going to share with you. I'm an intended mom. I've been in your shoes. We did not know our surrogate. And the whole time in thinking about surrogacy and knowing this was our last and viable option was, how was I going to trust a stranger with my own child? I'm sure so many of you can relate to that feeling. I have a lot of information to share, so please go ahead, take notes, pause the video, do whatever you need to. And before I get into it, I want to make sure to mention my email. Please write it down. I'm happy to speak with you anytime, Emily@fieldfertility.com. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to start with relationships. We're going to cover most of your basic relationships, the key relationships that are part of the surrogacy journey with you. Relationship with your surrogate, relationship with your surrogate's husband, her kids, family, relationship with the OB, the doctor who will be delivering your baby, relationship with the nurses at the hospital, relationship with your attorney, with your agency, and of course your own personal relationships. So let's start with relationship with your surrogate. It might feel a little awkward at the beginning. Okay, maybe a lot awkward. I get it, I know. But please remember and know that both of you are nervous and feeling a whole slew of emotions. If your surrogate is someone you know, it still may feel awkward, and know that this is totally normal. And especially as you talk about a lot of the legal and medical things and discussions and aspects about surrogacy that will come up for you. If you're a woman, you will feel a wide range of emotions about this whole entire process. Most likely, if you have gone through intensive fertility treatment before getting to this point, you will also be exhausted and emotional going into surrogacy, and it can be hard to come to terms with not carrying your own child. I get it. I was there. It's totally, totally normal. Also, for anybody needing a surrogate to carry their baby, trust is huge. Like I said, how am I going to trust someone? This can be so hard for all intended parents, male or female. I know it was for me and for my husband. If you live far away from your surrogate, like in a different state or even a different country, trust can feel even harder. So I'm hoping that you will be able to take a piece or two of what I'm going to share that will help you in your journey. When you start your relationship with your surrogate, it begins with a lot of the medical appointments with your reproductive endocrinologist or with an RE that lives near where she does, starting with the IVF process to get your surrogate's body ready for an embryo transfer. So having your relationship kick off with all these medical procedures is actually really helpful and helps establish your relationship, because the focus will be on her getting pregnant, getting to the embryo transfer, and getting to that heartbeat appointment. If you're an intended mom watching this and you've been through the IVF process yourself, you have a great opener and a great starter to establish a relationship with her. Your first conversations can be about who your RE is, what the clinic is like, where to park, some tips on how to give shots. So think about that of, how do I start this relationship? You're going to have some natural ways to do it. And for all the intended dads and intended moms who haven't been through the IVF process, all of these medical procedures and appointments still give you a lot of things that you can talk about, text about, and email with her about. You can ask her how the shots are going, how she's feeling, what the RE said. You can have her record appointments with the RE if you can't be there. All of this will help establish your relationship how you communicate, and how often. Some other ways that you will build your relationship throughout the pregnancy are from some of the following examples. I just want to mention some of them and hope that they can be helpful for you. So you will have the opportunity to attend appointments, and hopefully you can. And if not, hopefully you can Skype in or somehow be a part of it. Your surrogate can record the heartbeat for you at appointments, record what the doctor is saying. So all those things help build a connection with her, help you feel involved and in the know, and when you feel that way, trust and the relationship develops. Allowing her some private time at the appointments. Now I know that a lot of us intended parents that trust and the control is a really, really hard thing, but it's really important to remember to allow your surrogate to have private time at the appointments. For example, when she's getting weighed, let her do that alone. Give her some time with the doctor at every appointment. If you're there, let's say, where you're not there, she might have some things that really don't have anything to do with the baby that she wants to talk to the doctor about. By doing this, you will establish a lot of trust with her, and it just will feel good on both sides. Ask your surrogate to take bump pictures as the belly's growing, video of the baby moving. That'll help give her reasons to then communicate with you. If you go to appointments, take as many photos, document as much as you can. Again, goes along with everything I'm saying. One of the things that my husband and I did when we were about 8 months pregnant is we did a maternity photo shoot with our surrogate. It was the time when we were with her, and we got together and we did it, and we documented some great photos. I actually put together one sheet for you that you can download as part of this module. It's just some of the photos that we took with our surrogate to help give you some inspiration and ideas. I thought it just might be helpful and hopeful to you. So please go ahead and download that, the Surrogacy Maternity Photo Shoot document. So we did that. It was a real bonding moment, really special, and as an intended mom, not being pregnant myself, just more opportunities I got to touch the tummy and take photos was really, really special. You'll have an opportunity throughout the pregnancy as you're getting closer, about second, third trimester, to tour the hospital. Do it with her. So if you're not in town and that's a time you can be in town, tour the hospital. Obviously, if you can, please don't miss the birth. I know that doesn't always happen and there's unforeseen circumstances, but make sure you get into town early, or as you know she's getting closer, do that. It's really important for your relationship and your connection. So a few other things that you can do. If she's coming into town for appointments with your RE, for the transfer, or for other screenings, or whatever it might be, take her out, go to dinner if she's married with her husband. Spend time together. It'll help loosen things up and develop that relationship. Post-birth, make sure you visit with her in the hospital. And you'll be not sleeping, you'll be tired, you'll be emotional, but it goes without saying, but I feel like I do want to say it. Make sure you visit with her. Invite her to come to your room anytime. She won't, but just do that. One of the things that we did is we invited our surrogate, her husband, and her mom to come in for our daughter's first bath. It was just really special. Let them hold the baby, all of that. Know that afterwards and after the delivery, you don't have to be close with her. You can if you want to, or if the relationship develops into that. Most just occasionally text, email, send photos. It's really important the first few years to do so. Most likely in your contract, it might say something about contact post-birth. So it really just depends. Don't think she has to become your best friend. Don't feel pressure for that. No, that's not what I'm saying. But, just embrace it as much as you can. And the more you can be relaxed and open and have this great relationship throughout the pregnancy, the better for all parties involved. So the next relationship that I want to talk about is the relationship with your surrogate's partner or your surrogate's husband, her kids. So let's say, for example, your surrogate is married to a man, so your surrogate's husband. So if she has one, he really is the most impacted by all of this and by this whole process. They're like these silent forces behind the scenes. He's the one hearing her complain, rub my feet, I don't feel well, can you take care of the kids? Their sex life is impacted. So most likely your surrogate won't complain to you, but she will be, complaining and tired to her husband. Get to know him if you can. Allow him to come to appointments. Get to know him too. That will help you in the trust and seeing who he is and how he takes care of her feel that much better. And you'll have an opportunity to tell her husband how appreciative you are. And it just, really helps the whole awkwardness and to help grow and establish it. If she's close with her mom, let her mom attend an appointment. So just really think about it from her shoes. She's been pregnant. She's been through it before. You're strangers to her still too. So the more she can feel supported by the people in her life and you allow that and embrace it, the better. So yes, this can all feel a little awkward having her husband in the room or her mom in the room, but it's really, really good for the overall success of the relationship and the pregnancy. Healthy pregnancy, healthy baby. That's our goal with all of this. Other things that, think about in developing a relationship, right? You know when somebody's birthday is, or you send a text on Mother's Day or Father's Day, or find out when her kid's or child's birthday is. You can do something a little small, small for them. I'm not talking about spending a lot of money, but just like you would do in other relationships, you want to do that here. When all else fails and you're not sure what to communicate with your surrogate about, or you just want a reason to touch base with her, ask her about her kids. It's always the perfect thing that you can talk to her about. If you don't live close and don't go to appointments, think about FaceTiming with her and setting those things up throughout it. And mentioning and thinking about your surrogate's kid or children. It's difficult for the children. Their mom's pregnant. It's not their brother or sister. And so, allowing them or him or her to see the baby after your child or children are born is really, really helpful. Okay, moving on to our next relationship with the OB. So if you can, meet the OB in person. I know that's not always possible. And if you can't, FaceTime. Trust me, it will help you feel so much better to know who this OB is, that you can talk to him or her, that he or she understands you are the parent or parents. Let your surrogate ask questions too, like I mentioned, and give her alone time with the OB. I know I've already talked about that, but I just want to mention it again. Also, a note about the doctor's appointments with the OB. Make sure you sign any paperwork so that all the info can be released to you, that the doctor can talk to you. So just make sure that's done. I just want to mention that side note. Also, really, really important to talk to your surrogate about, but also talk to the OB about your delivery wishes. When the baby's born, who the baby comes to. Baby should come to you to start your skin-to-skin contact. Who cuts the cord? Who's in the room? All that kind of stuff, really important. All right, next, relationship with the nurses at the hospital. So hopefully you'll get to go on a tour of the hospital and you can meet some of the staff ahead of time, the charge nurse or some of the other nurses that are there. Also, as you're getting closer to the delivery, call and talk to the nurses and just, remind them about your situation, etc. And confirm with them that they have all your legal paperwork. Your attorney will take care of all of that, but always good to just do that. Make sure your surrogate has a copy of the legal paperwork and make sure you have one with you in your bag to go to the hospital. One other nice thing that you can do, a lot of parents do this, is they'll bring goodies for the nurses who are there. So we brought some goodies and we put a big note on it, thank you for taking good care of our surrogate, just so people really remembered who we were and we were the parents. Next, relationship with your attorney. So it's really important that you keep your attorney in the loop throughout the pregnancy. You want to make sure you let your attorney know the date your surrogate gets pregnant, the date there's a heartbeat, if it's a singleton or multiples. Your attorney will be doing things for you throughout the pregnancy and birth and whatnot. So really important, keep that relationship strong and keep him or her in the know. If you are using an agency, so the next one I'm going to talk about is relationship with your agency. So if you found your surrogate through an agency, your agency is your partner throughout the whole process. Any questions, go to your agency first. Any issues with your surrogate, go to your agency first. This is what they are here for. And the last relationship I want to mention is your own personal relationships with your partner, with your husband, with your best friend, family, whoever it might be. Surrogacy is stressful, it's emotional. This is the time to really stay connected and to start to build the foundation for your future family. So the topic is relationships, communication, and support, and I've talked about a lot of relationships, but you'll see that so much communication and support has been talked about all throughout this process. But I want to mention a few other things about communication and some communication tips. You take the lead on helping to establish the norm. And talk to your surrogate about this. Talk about, you might want a weekly Sunday phone call. You might want a few texts per week. If you can't be at an appointment, you want a text from her within 24 hours. Whatever it might be, but you take the lead in establishing that. Don't wait for her to come to you. You start it. You be the leader in that. Like I was mentioning, this is a relationship. This is not just she's having your baby. Yes, she is, but she's a real person doing an amazing, amazing thing. So make sure that your communication with her is not just pregnancy related. Like I said, ask her about her kids, if she has a job, her work, any fun weekend plans. This helps communicate. There's door openers for her and builds a nice, healthy relationship. Again, you don't have to be best friends. You don't have to talk all the time, nor should you probably, but just, things to think about. You want to make sure your surrogate knows how you want to be notified about things going on with the pregnancy. When it's time to go to the hospital, if she's having contractions, make sure she knows how you want to be communicated with and that she can contact you 24 hours a day. Sometimes surrogates don't want to intrude or maybe see if it's a false alarm. So think about that and what you want and make sure she knows. If you can't be at doctor's appointments, communicate with her day one about how you want those to go. If you can be FaceTimed or Skyped in, you want her to record something, you want to email her questions ahead of time, whatever it might be. So those are just some tips for all of that. Okay, so I mentioned about questions and whatnot. So the one little example I want to give is, we were told this early on about the relationship, the dynamics, so I want to share it with you. Example is, your surrogate has a doctor's appointment, and let's say you're there with her in person or by phone. The doctor says, everything looks really good. I want to check on X, Y, and Z at the next appointment, but everything looks good. Your surrogate's going to walk out of the room and think and hear everything's good. And you are going to walk out of the room and most likely go, wait, what does this doctor want to check the next time? What is X, Y, and Z? Very, very normal surrogate dynamic. Your surrogate is somebody who knows how to be pregnant. Most likely, you've never been pregnant or you've had a real long journey to get there, so it's really, really hard. I want to mention a few other things about support. Like I said, you've been hearing a lot about it, but you will support your surrogate by being involved, by checking in on her, everything we've been talking about. Allow her to be pregnant and do a good job. I know it's hard, you want to know what she's eating, what she's sleeping, what she's doing, but you really can't control any of that. Depending on how she's feeling and how the pregnancy is going, you might want to start paying for housekeeping in her house a little bit earlier. Again, it just shows how much you support her, because what you want is a full-term pregnancy, healthy baby, healthy surrogate. So whatever she needs for that support, I definitely encourage you to think about it. Now, I know that so much of what we've been talking about has been focused on your surrogate. But as an intended mom and intended parent to intended parent, I want to talk about the support and support for you. If you need to see a therapist, please do so. Embrace it. This is a tough journey. If you know somebody who's used a surrogate, and if you don't, I'm here for you. Feel free to email me, emily@fieldfertility.com. Also, you're having a baby. I know for me, this was such a literally out-of-body experience that I almost didn't really believe it until my daughter was home with me, in my arms, in her room, in my house. But get ready for your baby. Register. Have a baby shower. Go on a baby moon. Do other things. Take a CPR class. Take a first aid class, a baby care class, whatever it might be. You embrace this. You're having a baby. Get ready to be a parent, parents. So I just really wanted to take some time and mention that to you. To help summarize a lot of what I talked about, I put together another document that you can download as part of this. It's about the Surrogate Relationship 101, and I just tried to make it real simple and easy to highlight and put together all in one document a lot of what we've talked about. So you'll see it has surrogate down the side. So S, set up your communication expectations. We talked about that. U, understand her point of view. So remember, she knows how to be pregnant, what she's feeling, etc. R, respect her privacy. We've talked about that. R, another R, reach out to your professionals anytime for any support you need. Your agency, the psychologist, your attorney, reach out to them. They are here for you. It takes a village to have a child, but as I like to say, it takes a village to make one too. O, open communication is key. We talked about a lot of tips on how to establish that. G, get to know her doctor, OB. A, ask about non-pregnancy topics. T, trust her as much as you can. Doing a lot of what I talked about will hopefully get you to a point of that. E, embrace her family, and your journey. Surrogacy is amazing. It's a miracle. It's incredible what these women can do. It's challenging. You can't control much. It's really a true test of how much you can trust and trust in the process. I found that by working on my relationship and communication with our surrogate and supporting her as best as I could, made our surrogacy pregnancy and experience that much better. I hope that you've been able to think about some of the, been able to think about what I've mentioned, and that a lot of this is practical and things that you can do in your journey. I wish you the best on your journey ahead. Any questions, I'm here for you. Emily at fieldfertility.com. Thank you.